Welcome. This is Fort Wayne Up Close, and I'm Dr. V. And we are excited because we are going to get closer than close with the beautiful, classy First Lady Qiala Pettus from Greater Progressive Church right here in our own city. Hey, welcome,
Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you, beautiful.
I was like, yay, I'm excited. I get to, do a personal interview up close.
Love it. I love
Yes,
it. Full circle.
Yes, I think you got a thing about butterflies. I think, don't you?
Yes, I do.
was going to say, I think it was a butterfly somewhere close to you last time I saw you.
I love butterflies.
Yes. So thank you for joining us, hang out with us, and get to know our First Lady Qiala Pettus. And I do want you share whatever you want to share. Be transparent. Let us know about the First Lady. Let us know about just Qiala, period.
All
Okay?
right, sure.
Because, sometimes we want to dig a little deep and let people really know who you are. Because Sundays sometimes, or, whenever you're at the church and you're standing behind a pulpit and things like that, you kind of have to be a certain person, right? You have to be a certain person or people might mistake your actions, right?
Right.
I've been in those, I'll say I've been in that position before. And so, but you know how they say, let your hair down. So
we get to
I was
that?
just getting ready to say, so
Okay.
yes, in this studio, we like for you to let your hair down.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. And I've been to one of your events and I saw how you can let your hair down.
Yes,
and,
I like to enjoy myself.
So before we get into our deep conversation and get to know a little bit more about the beautiful Qiala Pettus, I would like for you to share some things and introduce yourself to Fort Wayne and let them know all about you and the things that you, I'll say, have coming up.
Okay.
Just kind of touch on that, and then we'll get deeper into that.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Well, hello, Fort Wayne. I am from South Bend. My name is Lady Qiala Pettus. You can call me Lady. You can call me Qiala. You can call me Lady Qiala Pettus. It doesn't matter. And I am a First Lady at Greater Progressive, 2215 John Street. If you're looking for a church home, come visit us. And I just like to enjoy life. I really try, and it's true, you need to be a certain way. However, God knew who I was when he made me this way. Yes. And so I don't have to try and be anything other than really who I am. I've always been the way I've been, even in like elementary, middle school. In middle school, I was the one wearing the suits and the silk blouses and the brooches and the stockings and the suits.
And the heels.
It was me. So I was destined to be this.
Gotcha.
And it's so funny to even be called Lady Qiala Pettus. One funny fact about me in middle school, I was a female rapper. Right.
Who would have thought?
And we battled dudes, and it was another young lady and I, and my name was Lady Lace. And it's so funny because I loved lace, old school, right? Lace gloves, lace stockings, lace everything. Okay. So I was destined to be, I transitioned from Lady Lace to Lady Pettus. So fun fact about me.
A fun fact in the rapping part.
Yes.
And so no gospel Christian rap.
I don't play around with it. I don't play around with it. I only did it for about a good 6-month span. Okay. And that was it.
Okay, that was it. That's over. Yeah. So children.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
I've been married to my husband, Pastor Anthony Pettus. I call him AKA Pettus. He's just Pettus to me. Pettus. And I introduce him a lot as Pettus, like that's his first name. And we've been married for 25 years now.
Beautiful.
Together we have 7 children. I've raised all 7, so I have 7 children. Yes. And then now we're in our grandparent era, and I love it.
No way.
And I had to tell my daughter one day, I said, Qiala, I think I might love her more than I loved you. And we just cracked up laughing. She was like, Ma, I said, okay, I'm just playing. But like, I understand now being a grandmother, but we're just enjoying life. We're at that sweet spot in ministry where now, we've been here in Fort Wayne now for 21 years. So I feel like I'm a part now.
Yes.
I'm not a newcomer anymore to Fort Wayne. This is
Right.
home. We've raised, like, our youngest, this is all she knows.
It's Fort Wayne.
Yeah, we came here when she was 3 months old, and she
Yeah.
just turned 21.
Yes.
Well, in May, she turned 21. So Fort Wayne is our second home now.
Yes. Well, that's wonderful. Well, your first home now, for real. Yes. I don't think we're going to let you go.
Okay.
All
I
right.
like it.
I love having you here. You do wonderful events. So to get into the events, you do 2 events a year. Talk to us about those 2 events. Why 2?
Okay.
And so let's talk about that first.
So I have a spring and then I have a fall, almost winter.
Okay.
The spring is our When Women Pray event, and that's at the church. And that came out of a devastating event in my life. When COVID happened, my mother came to visit from South Bend, and she was coming for the weekend, and she got COVID in 2020. And it was a time when everybody was dying, and everybody was dying. And it was the time when you go into the hospital and your loved one couldn't come up. And so as soon as she got here, she got out the car and said, "Oh, my legs don't feel right." And I'm the only girl. I have 2 brothers. And I was like, "Oh, let me give you some emergency." Long story short, the next day she got diagnosed with COVID. And on Monday, that was Friday, on Monday, she went non-responsive in my home, and I had to call EMS, and we thought we lost her. And she spent 21 days in the hospital.
Jesus.
And she went from ER to regular room to ICU to getting a call on Sunday, she's not going to make it. And I dropped at the altar because, like, this is my mama,
That's
you
right.
know. And I just went into prayer. Always have prayed, right? But at that moment, I gave it all that I had, like, mama, And so I did a clarion call, and I never put my business out on Facebook, but I said anybody who's a believer who can meet me at Parkview parking lot. And so for 21 days, I walked Parkview's parking lot, and I prayed every day at 6:00. And I believed that she was going to come out. I didn't know where she was in the hospital, so I walked the whole course of the hospital. I prayed. I didn't care what I looked like out there. I didn't care who rolled by. I was like, "What's she doing?" Because I had to save my mom.
Wow.
And I believe that my prayers saved her. I gave it all to God. And so from that, I needed women to know that we are the vehicle, that our loved one can be saved from our prayers,
line.
And so I wanted everybody to know about prayer, and I wanted everyone to know about the power of prayer. And I didn't want people to come to the church and you get in the prayer line and we pray for you. So at the event, I don't have the prayer line and people come. I'm not opposed to that, but anything I'm attached to, I want you to be able to leave equipped.
Yes.
And so what I want you to do is learn how to pray for yourself.
Yes.
And with prayer, it was so, you go to church and you hear the people pray so good, and it's like they talking to Jesus, like they got all
So
the language and
eloquent.
and the scriptures and this.
Yes.
When you are trying to make sure your mama stay here, it's like, Lord, I need you now.
That's right.
And so that's what prayer is. It's just like a conversation with you and I. Even you don't have to have the right. You can have broken English, but he knows and he hears. So, and that's where that was birthed from. And and every event that has come up since then, my granddaughter went into the hospital right after that. She was only maybe 10 months or so with RSV. We know RSV kills children. I was at the hospital, and my first instinct was to go outside to walk. And I just went in the hallway and I walked, and I'm like, Lord, here we are again. Now you saved my mom. I need you to save my granddaughter. And so I'm just a believer that let's put prayer with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And so at that particular event, can you describe what's going on at that particular event?
So what we do is I have different women with prayer initiatives. So we cover marriages, we cover single women, we cover families, we cover generation now. I always have a young person come to pray for their generation. My daughter, who is here with me today, she prayed. My other daughter, she prayed another year. So I always have a young person represented, and they just go to prayer. And so they have a few minutes, and they just pray over that event. This past year, we pray really hard for mothers and daughters, because, in the end times, mothers will be against daughters, daughters will be against mothers. And I'm like, not on our watch, because it's happened.
I was just getting ready to say it's happening now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so we had women come put their family's name at the altar. And so I still have that at my house. I have it sitting in my window, and I pray over those names, because not on my watch. Not on my watch.
I love that.
If I can stand in the gap, that's what I want to do. And so we just come and we pray, and people do come up and they ask for prayer, and they do get prayer. But so that's what that event, and it's usually the second weekend of April. It's usually that Friday.
Okay.
So that's when women pray.
Okay.
And my catch is, what happens when women pray? Anything can happen when women pray.
The walls and the shackles are loose.
Yes.
That's awesome. So that's a praying event. And then you have the other event. Is that's springtime.
That's the fall. That's spring when women pray. And now upcoming November, it's always like 7th. The first weekend of November. This year fell a little funny, because the first weekend is like October 31st and 1st. So this year is November 7th and 8th.
Okay.
And it is the Relentless.
Wait, I'm not going to let you. Okay. Because you sneaking past something.
Okay.
So what was the event with the paint?
The praise and paint?
Praise and paint. Okay. I wasn't going to let you forget about that, because you're talking about praying, and we know we want to open the gateways with the praying. But then you had an event, and I was blessed to be in the house. Me and my sister, we were there. And the praise and paint. Yes. Let's talk about that, because that was an awesome event. It was so much fun. People had a great time. They were able to let their hair down for real.
Yes.
So So talk about that.
So with the praise and paint, I can't take credit for it. Mr. Richard Phillips.
Okay.
He is the one, and he called me. He said,
Tunnel vision.
Yes, tunnel vision.
Yes.
And he said, I got something I want you to do. And I was like, absolutely. Because being, the misconception is being in church, you got to be stuffy. You got to, church is evolving.
That's right.
And as long as, and one of my things I kept saying, we're going to have a good time. We're going to listen to music, and we still going to be saved when we leave.
That's what you said.
And so, and so I'm like, we're going to have music. We're going to dance. Yes. And we went and we had a great time. And like, I try not to worry about being judged, really. Because,
that's right.
Because one thing you learn about in church teach you how to have a thick skin, because they'll love you when they love you, and they'll hate you when they hate you. So you might as well just enjoy yourself, and as long as I'm not violating God, I'm okay.
That's right.
He loves me anyway.
And I was going to say, and when you're free in Christ Jesus, you can be yourself.
I can be myself.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he made me this way.
He made you who
and
you are.
I'm extra. My kids always say, "Oh, Ma, you so extra." I was like, I know, and I love it. And so when you saw me up there dancing and enjoying myself, and I believe that's a testimony for me, because the people who won't come to the church because it's a little too stuffy, they'll look at me, and so many of them say, "You so down to earth."
That's right.
And that's what I need to, because if I'm so high up, I can't save nobody. And when I say save, I can't save, but I can't lead you to Christ if I'm just too stuffy.
That's right. Untouchable.
And for years, so many years, first ladies have been, and I'm not going to say, I'm not going to speak ill of that, but it's easy to fall into, I'm going to tell you, it's easy to fall into the traps of being like worship as a guy.
I was getting ready to say being placed on that pedestal.
And I'm going to be really honest, because you have people serving you and because they love you.
Yes.
And they do it because they love you. Yeah. But if you're not focused, if you're not already set in who you are, it can easily, I can see how women, first ladies, turn to that way. But for me, when I say first lady, I better be the first servant. So when they get up and they say, like they need some chairs moved, some dishes washed, anything, I'm the first one to get up, because I better be the first servant.
I like how you put a spin on that, because some people would say, well, that's not in the Bible. So where does that come from? and how do you walk in that? And so speaking from my past of being in that position for the time that I was married to the pastor,
Okay.
I can say clearly coming through the door, I said, listen, I'm Sister V. And that was my choice
Okay.
because I didn't want people to feel like they needed to do that. And still, of course, like you said, people want to serve you. And so you still have that and you still try to listen. And I wanted them to see me as I am a regular human being.
Yeah.
So don't expect me to have a big hat, tilt it down, and you got to try to get on your knees to see what's happening underneath the hat because I'm hiding in service. And I will not be that person. I will not be locked in a box. So don't look at my actions and try to figure out what's going on in the house because that's what happens sometimes in the church.
Yeah.
And so, I made those things clear. So I can feel your heart. And so when I saw you, because I know that's what people would say. I've heard people say that even about myself. Oh my God, I didn't know you were so cool, or you so crazy, or you whatever, right? And they feel comfortable then.
Yeah.
Now they know they can approach you.
Yes.
And so like you said, especially if people are not coming to Greater Progressive and they just see you beautiful on a billboard, then they just be thinking, wow.
Yeah.
Then maybe they could find or see you somewhere, and because you're not talking to them or not engaged enough to even notice that they were there, some people can mistake your actions. But that day, I'm just saying, at that particular event, you were just right there, up close, right? Just hanging with everybody, and you made people feel good, cheering people on, even on the dance floor, dancing
Yes, I danced
with us. And so, so it was just an awesome event, which Tunnel Vision, y'all always have good events. Yeah. So I just want a little plug out there for Richard.
Big ups, Tunnel Vision.
Yes. And so, let me just also add this. The painting was beautiful. Everything was fun. And we got to show off our pictures. I think mine was the best. Somebody no, mine was the best. So it was a fun event. And then I happened to be the winner. Hey. Yes. It wasn't rigged up.
It was not. And and let me just say, it's when I say full circle, even today.
Yes.
So at that event, I gave away a registration. One registration, a lucky person won a registration, and it was Miss V.
It was me.
And so one of the things that I said when I came to Fort Wayne 21 years ago, all I kept hearing about was Veronica Towns. Is it Towns or Townsend?
Towns.
Veronica Towns. And so to see that you were the one that win, I remember seeing you was like, she's so beautiful. She's optimistic, the lady of optimistic, right? And then I'm like, she won. And then I'm here speaking with you today. It's full circle. It is so full circle.
I know, and you said that day, but let me tell you this, before... Did somebody draw my name? And I know you said it, but before anybody said who had won, I had just sat there and I was painting and I said, I'm getting ready to win.
See, you already knew.
I know. And so my sister was so outdone. She was like, how in the world? So I'm just saying, okay, it was God, y'all. It really wasn't rigged up. But anyway, so that was beautiful. But now we're getting ready for the next event.
Yes.
And so this is where I'm excited. So I have my tickets. Good. I'm ready.
Yes.
And so tell us about this beautiful conference.
Yes. So Resilient Woman, this is our third year doing it. And it took a few years. It took me about 3 years to even get it started. God had already given me the vision of it, and the time just wouldn't come up right. But I understood now there were still some things that I needed to go through to really understand, because had I put it on before, I wouldn't have gone through the things with my mom. Right. I wouldn't have gone through the other things in life. So I needed to have an in-depth knowledge of what being a resilient woman is like. And in a day like today, social media, there's so much pressure on wins. There's so much pressure on being right and being the best and being an entrepreneur and getting the bag, and like all things good is so much pressure to get to that point. And they forget the process of getting to what happens in the process of getting to here. And a lot of times what social media, and social media is such a good thing. What social media looks like is you start here and then you get here. Well, what they forget is here, here. Oh, let's knock back down a couple slots here. Then let's crawl up again. Right. And all of that builds resilience. And so what I wanted to do was to encourage women, mothers, daughters, grandmothers, that don't discount where you've come from. Don't forget that it's even like when you're working out. You break down the muscle to build up, and it's the discovery. I always say that it's the discovery. It's the journey of the discovery of yourself. By the time you get to here, you want to know who you are. And along the way, you learn who you are. You learn your fight. You learn your struggle. And I remember moving to Texas in the 90s, 98 particular, by myself. I didn't know anybody, but I was just going to start a life. I had a part-time job that I worked so much overtime to make it a full-time job. Texas is all highway, right? So I had to make enough to have $5 to wash and dry my clothes, right? And I made sure that I had enough. I would go get those frozen pasta dishes, and that was my dinner. But what I learned, if I can go to 1,000 miles away and make it, it's nothing I can't do. I was building my resilience and didn't even know it. So, like, I'm not afraid of anything except roller coasters.
Me too.
You do? And so it was just a part of my journey. And that's what resilience is about. And so I wanted my job, my assignment is to teach women that regardless if you get knocked down, let's get back up and try again. You don't fail unless you stop trying. And so that's the push. That's where Resilient Woman was birthed from.
Right. That is so beautiful. So the young people, and we kind of talked about that at the beginning, your concerns right now in our community, in the world, etc., the young people. And so how are you bringing the young ladies into even the conference, but just into being a resilient woman?
First year, the first 2 years I did it at a college, and I was able to, through donations, gift the first year I've gift 20 college students to come just free. And I wanted them to be exposed. That's right. And so, and last year as well, and I also give a scholarship. And my burden is, because I have daughters, and my burden, I am church born, church bred. When I die, I'm going to be church dead. Okay. And so my burden is, what's the state of the church for the young adult? And there's so much, it's not valid, is this, is that. I know that the scripture tells me without God, I can do nothing. And so my assignment for my young ladies is to show them that we need God in everything we do. So I went to college, and I went to 2 Christian colleges, learned regular college ethics, math and all of that. English, but I had to tie a biblical principle to everything we did. So what I understood was they were equipping me as a believer to go into maybe a non-Christian world and sprinkle myself. I didn't have to go in there and speak scriptures or anything, but just me being there.
And operating in the principles. And so you don't have to say Jesus, Christ, God, heaven, but operating in those principles and show them who you are.
And when that question will come to me, why are you so different? Then that would be my open door that I can go in. So my burden for the young adults is, whatever you're doing, don't try and do it without God, because He is still very valid. Absolutely. And so that, so I try and bring the young women along with me all the time, and I'm always talking about God, and I'm saying He already knows you. He knows what you are, who you are, whose you are. And so that's my message to the young adults. And so I'm always trying to bring them in and let them know that you're not a failure. You're exactly where He wants you to be. Now let's grow, and let's go from here.
Let's grow, let's glow. Okay, so speaking to, and just if we can focus on just the young ladies right now,
Okay.
because I know you said you have a concern, I have a concern.
Okay.
And so a lot of times I'm concerned about the conversation that the young ladies are having, the actions, the dress, the way they feel like they have to pursue the men. I mean, everything is different. We talked about how times are different right now, even in the hair industry. But with the young ladies, so just because you have the platform and the mic, if you can speak to some young ladies, maybe you've seen them somewhere, you were a little bit disappointed. You just talked about how you dressed during high school. That was my same story. People that know me know it was an everyday thing. I think when they do the superlatives, I was one of the best dressed for the school. So you sound like we were in that same.
You my cousin.
Today, right. But today you see a whole different type of move.
Yeah.
And so, so real quick before before our time runs out, I want you to actually look into the camera and talk to the young ladies and just share your heart.
Yeah.
As far as, especially with you having daughters.
So one of the big things about young women in church, today's young women in church, is they say that we're judgmental. And I've been there where a lot of you are. And I don't want to judge at all. But what I want to do is speak to that thing in here. And I want to speak to that piece in here that maybe you think that you have to dress a certain way, be a certain kind, act a certain way to get what it is that you want. But you are enough. It sometimes, beauty we think is what other people say it is. But no. Like you could go to Rainbow and get a $10 outfit and rock it to the best. You don't have to be what somebody else says. Beauty is what's in here. And what I want to speak to you and even say, if you don't feel that you're beautiful, I want you to know that you are enough exactly where you are. And the more that you learn yourself, the more confident that you'll be, and even the more beautiful you'll be, because beauty is not really this out here. Beauty is what's in here, and then it comes out. So whatever you do, I want you to do it for you, not for anyone else, not for a man, not for competition. And then I want you to start giving your sister some love. If you see that sister out there that's doing it, tell her, girl, you doing it. Don't be afraid to give the compliment, because it won't take anything from you.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm just we're gonna pass that word on to all ladies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you say you see a sister that's doing it.
Tell her.
Let her know.
Tell her
she is doing it.
Yes.
And if she's motivating you, inspiring you, let her know that you know that as well. And so that is so beautiful. Now, so I know in the church, there's always things to do. And so you're doing a lot. And so we haven't really talked about the conferences, but on a personal level. So you had was it a program, or what did you have? And it was the Today's Leading
Ladies.
Yes.
It's the women's ministry of the church.
Okay.
And it is Today's Leading Ladies. And we are basically learning, it's women's Bible study. Okay. It's set apart that we're dealing with scriptures that deal with women issues, and just things that we as women go through. There's a word for it, whatever it is. There's a word for it, So I'll try and go in and search the scriptures and see how can we speak on this. And so with Today's Leading Ladies, we would meet every other Monday. Okay. And we would just have a 1 hour Bible study on topics that, we were like, the last session we were in was principles and promises, and learning about God's principles in order to get the promises, because there is this thing in the world today with ministry that that God is a genie in a bottle. And that he gonna give you this and he gonna give you that, and there's no requirements. That is God. A lie. There are things. It's just like a parent. My children can't not. I can't come home and they didn't wash the dishes and do this, and I'm gonna give them everything.
Yes.
Same as God. He's going. So we need to learn the principles so that we can then get the promises.
That's right.
But there was a little pause that I had to do.
And so you said that's when it was.
It was.
Okay, so tell us about the pause.
So there's a pause in women's Bible study right now, and my husband is on my head about it because I decided to go back to school. Now,
educated woman.
Funny thing is, I never, ever wanted to go to college. I just always wanted to be a wife. That's all I was ever wanted to do. And then I came to Fort Wayne and I went and got my bachelor's degree, Indiana Wesleyan. Yes. Then I decided, I'm going to go back and get my master's. And I got my master's degree from University of St. Francis. Yes. Whoop, whoop. Yay. And then I fell on my head and I decided to go pursue my doctorate. Uh-oh. So right now I'm in school pursuing my doctorate of ministry with a concentration in leadership. Now I'm not a preacher. Now I teach, I speak, but I just want to know more. Right. I want to learn more in the whole leadership piece. So that's where I am right now.
That's good. That's beautiful. And so you're a student. You're a career woman. We know this. And you mentioned being a grandmother.
I'm a granny.
And so, of course, the first lady. So your hands are full. What would you say is your greatest challenge being the first lady?
I've been at it for 25 years now. So I'm kind of working through the kinks of, but what I'll say is in this season right now of like stepping back from everything, of disappointing people, of being okay not making it to this event, being okay not making it, because right now, like I'm gonna be honest, I'm at a fine line of, do I pause with school or do I keep going? Because I'm trying to still do everything and operate like normal, and there is not enough time in a day. So you said it, I'm a career woman. I work, I run a practice, a multi-million-dollar healthcare practice. And so I'm there 9 hours a day, sometimes 9.5 hours a day. I'm doing that. Then I had to come home and sit at the table and do homework all day. But yet somebody's having a program and I need to show my face. I need to get at Bible study, but I got assignment due at 11:59. I need to be present at a birthday party. I need to do that. So right now I'm at a point that I'm like, do I want to continue to go to school right now? So I'm at an impasse right now.
Oh yeah, because you're in a season where your no could almost offend people, and they don't understand all of these things that you have.
Where's Lady Pettus at?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And so I want to know more. We want to know more. Fort Wayne Up Close want to know more about this career woman and this 9 to 5. Talk to us about that.
Okay. Well, because since I did go to school and educate myself, I decided, okay, let me go ahead, because I was a stay-at-home mom for years when I raised my younger children, and then I would get bored, and then I said, let me go out, and then I'm like, let me go ahead and try these degrees that I have, and so I do practice management, and I run a eye facility where we deal with the healthcare of the eye, and I'm not gonna say the name now just in case, but I run and so I'd work closely with the doctors. I manage the resources of the staff budget. And I got to say this, we reach high. So I'm the top practice in our whole entire company. Oh, wow. We doing Beautiful. That, so I'm not afraid to go into the corporate world and, and run it and be nice and do it. But I sprinkle me and I sprinkle God in it, and they don't even know that I'm sprinkling God in there, but my education taught me, I understand the principles, taught me how to go into corporate and sprinkle some of those biblical principles. And you'd be surprised how many women come into my office and shut the door and give me their personal and then ask me to pray, and I will pray. Yes. But I understand why he has me in corporate, because he needs more of us out there on the front line.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. There's so many things we just want to know about you, need to know. So I had this rapid fire thing lined up. I was gonna hit you with some questions real quick. So I had about 5 or 6 of them, but just real quick, just so we know a couple things. This might help somebody out there when they feel like they want to bless you. So what's your favorite color?
Yellow.
Okay.
Yellow, yeah, good energy. It makes me happy.
Good energy.
Yes.
And what's your favorite flower?
I'm not a flower person.
Okay.
So I've always told my husband, don't bring me home no flowers.
Okay.
Just get me something.
What about a plant?
I love greenery plants.
Okay.
Peace lilies are hard to keep, but
They
but
are
the peace
a
lily,
lot of work.
The greenery plants, I'm starting to grow them, and I got one that's really growing big. But yeah, I'm not a flower person.
Favorite movie?
I love Jones.
Okay.
Love Jones. I love.
Okay.
Yes.
Favorite celebrity?
I'm sorry to my husband, LL Cool J. Always have been. I won't say he's like a couple of my passwords now.
Okay. I love it. And then favorite food?
Pizza.
Pizza. Oh my goodness. Pizza. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Well, that's real quick. I just wanted to know that. And before we exit, I do want you to share how people can get in touch with you or get tickets to the beautiful conference that's coming up. So share that for us.
So the conference, we are closing registration next week. The 30th is the deadline. So I'm all on social media. You can go to my Facebook page, Qiala Pettus. You can go to Greater Progressives Facebook page, and there's a link. You can click the link and register. You won't actually get a physical ticket, but your name, if you register, you'll go through and your ticket will be at the door. You do not want to miss this year's conference because Friday we're going to worship by bringing an out-of-town speaker, down south Southern lady, Carmen Reed. She's going to come. She's going to bless us. It's Women's Weekend. On Friday night, we're going to have a good worship time. And then Saturday is our Legacy Luncheon. I'm not who I am because of just being me. My grandmother poured into me. My mother poured into me. My aunt poured into me. The women before me that paved the way. My great grandmother was she was a midwife. She was delivering babies in Trenton, Tennessee with no anesthesia.
Wow.
I have no choice but to be blessed. I have no choice but to be a leader.
Ooh.
And so I want you to come so that you can really understand, because it's shifting. And who used to be the legacy, guess what? We're legacy now. And so what I want everyone to really understand when they get there and learn is we have to be legacy living. We have to practice legacy living because we're the ones now that are planting the seeds for our children and our grandchildren. And so we have to live intentional.
Yes.
We have to live with
a
intention.
legacy life.
And so we're going to I have some legacy leaders is what I'm calling them, some professionals who's making an impact. Basically, legacy is saying, what impact are you making in this earth? What? And even if some people say, oh, I can't do that because I went to jail before, or I did this, I was an addict. Guess what? If you've come from that, legacy living, because now you need to pave the way and show somebody else. How did you come from that?
Yes.
It's never too late until they close the casket on your face. So come register and let's get legacy motivated.
Legacy motivated.
Or you can call the church website, any of that.
I love it. Legacy motivated. I feel legacy motivated. And I just want to say thank you. It's time for us to get out of here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, for being here with us. And hopefully we can talk to you again, maybe after the conference. Yeah. Will you be giving away prizes and all of that?
I probably will. Just hang on tight.
Just hang on tight. Win once. No. Anyway, thank you so much. This is Fort Wayne Up Close. And thank you for hanging with us in the beautiful, lovely,
thank you,
First Lady Qiala Pettus.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.
Register.
Thank you.